buying property is a journey, and people don't often know what they actually really want until they go out there and look. And there's an age-old saying, when we were selling agents, you know, we used to talk about this all the time. Oh my God, they said they wanted this and then they went and bought that. And that's the journey. That is exactly what happens so many times, because people think they want something, but then when they start to look at it, they go through the process of understanding, what will I compromise on? What won't I compromise on? What's really important to me? Oh, well, I thought that was important. Actually, it's not.
I thought I liked that and I actually don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And two, we open their eyes to other areas. Like, they may not have investigated other areas. They may not know about other areas. And so that is our job, to open their eyes and look at other opportunities that could actually be a better fit for them. We're not there to tell them what to do or, you know, redirect them. We're literally there to open their eyes and open their options, so then they can make an informed and comfortable decision and know and feel, you know, really good about what they're doing with their investment.
The misconceptions of real estate.
There's certainly plenty of those.
This will be a great one. So this one is born from things that people say to us and some of the misconceptions that are out there.
And I think it answers a lot of questions that we get asked, and rightly so. And yeah, definitely perception. There's a lot of, we call them experts out there that have differing opinions.
We call a lot of people a lot of things, which we can't repeat on our podcast.
That's probably not the banter for a podcast. But you got to have fun, don't you? Can't all be serious.
We do. We do have fun.
But yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, misinformation floating around out there, and it depends on who you talk to. So yeah, the purpose of this episode is to, I guess, unravel some of those and answer questions along the way. So hit me up. What's number one?
Number one is buyer's agents are only required in a competitive market, like COVID or something like that.
False.
False.
Every market presents different challenges and a different skill set to navigate and a different level of experience. So no matter what market, there is always room for a professional to lead you through and to navigate those challenges. So there's so many different techniques that we use and so many different strategies that we use depending on the market conditions. And I guess when you've experienced different peaks and troughs and different dynamics and different trends, you have all that skill and background to bring to the table to navigate the current market conditions. So,
Totally.
you know, COVID was a new environment for all of us. None of us have experienced that before. However, you know, from our perspective, we'd been through GFC. So, and we've been through other struggles when interest rates were, you know, 17%. So we've been through different generational challenges that have affected the property market. So, yeah, that is definitely false.
So the next misconception is it's an additional cost if I use a buyer's agent. And this is probably one of the biggest, right?
It is.
Everyone asks this question, but I can't afford it. It's only for the wealthy. I'm struggling to buy a house anyway. I can't afford an additional cost of a buyer's agent.
I think you can't afford not to use one.
Yeah, well said. True.
Simple answer.
Yeah.
But you can't, you know, it's not an additional cost. Well, certainly not in our case, it's not.
And that's not, to be fair, 100% guaranteed. It can be if you end up exercising the very top of your budget and, you know,
Absolutely.
It can be. We certainly don't make promises we can't keep.
Yep.
But most of the time.
In earlier episodes or another episode, we have spoken about, you know, the 1% of our clients that, you know, we haven't been able to save the fee. But they're extenuating circumstances and it's eyes wide open going in. We all know it up front. It's not like a surprise. But
because they could be struggling. We might be very transparent in the beginning and say, look, you're probably going to be exercising the top of your budget to get what you want. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. So they know that up front.
They do.
But without us, they might not have even got that because they, you know, needed more. So, yeah, we discuss that. But most times it's not an add-on fee, is it?
No, it's not. And you can go out there and do it yourself for sure. But how well do you think you are going to negotiate, given that you might ever do it once or twice in your entire lifetime? Do you have the relationship with the selling agent that we have? Do you have the professional to professional relationship? There's so many factors in a negotiation, and certainly fee shouldn't be the be-all and end-all, and most of the time it's not an additional cost.
And I think sometimes some of the things, how we save our clients money is we take the emotion out of it. They probably would have spent that emotion. The selling agents get to know their budget, so of course they kind of get to know what they've had. We know where to look, because someone might say, well, how is it not an additional cost? We might introduce a property that has no other competition on it, like the other day, the off-market we bought. That quite potentially would have gone for quite a bit more had it gone to market. But our buyer was solid, they were cash, the terms suit, the vendor was happy. So, yeah.
How many times have we also heard that, someone was worried about a 10 grand fee, a 20 grand fee, but the properties ended up costing them 150 grand because they bought something and they weren't aware of a whole bunch of things that they didn't cover in due diligence because they didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So our fee can often save not just in the negotiation, but it's picking the right property in the right spot, or not buying a lemon that down the track you might buy and sell for less than what you purchased it for. So
you're right. To it. You can't afford not to. Yeah. So number 3 on our list this is a good one actually, because people do ask this. So in terms of a service, I guess it's a high cost service. You're not buying a handbag. Some handbags are expensive.
Maybe not the best example.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You're not buying a small item. So it's a significant fee, and but we've got a lot of years to bring to the table to offer in that service. So the argument might be I'm paying a significant fee for a service that may only take a week or a few weeks, and that perception is it's a lot of money. So what would you say to that one?
Yeah, I feel fee's not based on time. We're not on an hourly rate. Our fee is based on our level of experience, because a lot of these opportunities wouldn't be there ordinarily. It's through our connections and our network. It's through our experience. It's through our life experience and professional experience that have led us to that point. And for us personally, I'm 30 years, you're nearly 20. So that's a really long time to bring to the table. So that's what you're actually paying for, is our level of experience and expertise to get to the point of being able to A, get the opportunity, B, work with that particular agent, C, understand the vendor's motivations and get to the crux of the situation, and then work out the best strategy to negotiate the best price and successfully secure the property. So it's nothing to do with whether it's taken a day or a week or a month. A lot of the time we can't actually control the timeline because it's all dependent on stock. Yep. So it's actually not about the time and the longevity of the deal or the journey. It's actually about the level of expertise and experience that we bring to the table to arrive at a successful outcome.
100%. And there's a few, you can liken it to a few industries, and I've always hated when real estate agents liken themselves to a doctor and, you'd ask a surgeon, you got to get an operation, you want the most experience. Kind of annoys me. But an auctioneer is a good example. If you're going to auction your house, you're actually paying for quite a small amount of time, aren't you? How long is that auction going to take? 10 minutes? 20 minutes? They turn up, they run the auction. If I was going to auction my house, or anyone who's auctioning a house, I would want the most experienced auctioneer. I don't care if it's going to take 2 minutes or 20, it doesn't matter, because they might extract from the marketplace such a better result for you. I would happily pay extra for an auctioneer that had all that experience.
Again. But also to look at the types of deals sometimes that we put together.
Yeah.
Like someone that's been doing this for 5 minutes would never be able to construct and come up with an attractive deal for all parties. And some of our deals are very complex. But if we hadn't had the experience and negotiated the amount of properties that we had, we couldn't arrive and probably wouldn't be able to do the deal. So, the fee is irrelevant to time.
In fact, some
Or days on market, I should say.
Some buyers that engage us actually wanted to take a short time. So you look at, we've had a lot of clients of late, and this comes back to the kind of stalemate that the market's in at the moment, where the sellers aren't selling because there's nothing to buy. And we're kind of helping educate the selling agents a little bit, saying, look, we can help you. Your sellers are sitting on the fence because they're worried. So we've had clients, quite a number just recently. So they'll get in contact with us. They've already engaged their selling agent in Sydney. So they're on the market, or they're going on the market shortly. They've got a 90-day contract, so a 3-month settlement, which gives them some time to buy a property. But if they were the ones buying the property, that equation wouldn't work. So they want to sell their home and they want to move straight into their new home. If they had to sell their home and then start the process themselves, they probably wouldn't achieve their timeline. So those buyers are engaging us so simultaneously as their selling agent, and it works so well. So it gives us that period of time once they get an unconditional on their property to go and we can do it in such a shorter time because we've got access. We know what the market is. We can shorten that process. So we're securing them a property and they're simultaneously moving into the new one. So that's where we can help the selling agents move their clients forward as well. So they do see the value in a few short weeks because that's what they want us to do. Yeah. So it's not everyone. It's interesting. So misconception number 4 is buyer's agents will only search in the areas I have shown interest. This is a good one because we cover this in our brief, don't we?
We do. Yeah. And, I guess we can mainly speak from our perspective and the other buyer's agents that we know operate similarly to us. But no, that's not entirely true. So the brief is quite interesting. So yes, it's a piece of paper and it's all the tick boxes and we put everything down, but buying property is a journey and people don't often know what they actually really want until they go out there and look. Mm-hmm. And there's an age-old saying when we were selling agents, we used to talk about this all the time. Oh my God, they said they wanted this and then they went and bought that. And that's the journey. That is exactly what happens so many times because people think they want something, but then when they start to look at it, they go through the process of understanding what will I compromise on, what won't I compromise on, what's really important to me. Oh, well, I thought that was important. Actually, it's not.
I thought I liked that and I actually don't.
Absolutely. Yeah. And two, we open their eyes to other areas. Like they may not have investigated other areas. They may not know about other areas. And so that is our job, to open their eyes and look at other opportunities that could actually be a better fit for them. We're not there to tell them what to do or, redirect them. We're literally there to open their eyes and open their options so then they can make an informed and comfortable decision and know and feel, really good about what they're doing with their investment.
We've got many clients that have ended up buying in an area that they weren't originally looking and they're very happy. So,
absolutely.
And they're like, oh my God, I would never have known about this beautiful suburb or area if I wasn't working with you. And yeah, we just sometimes can read that a certain area might resonate with someone as well, with the type of lifestyle that they're looking for, which they may not have found on their own. Buyer's agents will tell you what you want to hear. In the context of this is that, we're there just to buy a house and we'll just tell you what you want to hear and move you forward.
Well, they've probably seen on TV the nonsense.
We're more likely to tell you what you don't want to hear.
Exactly. The good, bad and the ugly.
And it's actually been said, I really appreciate your
honesty,
forthrightness. I like your directness. You're honest. Yep. That's what we're there to do. We're not there to,
Well, it goes back to the responsibility. This is a massive responsibility on our part to correctly advise and, give the right information to people. We're not there to be decision makers or to push people in any way, shape or form based on our agenda. We're there to be informative. We're there to be factual, and yes, we tell them good things, but we also, our approach anyway, we always move forward with objective information, what we do like about a property, but then also it's not what's negative or what we don't like.
What are the compromises?
More about, based on your brief, these are the things that are in question. Can you live with them or can you not? Or these are issues with the area, the property. If you're okay with that and you're comfortable, fabulous, but you need to know about it.
I mean, I've had instances where I've been with clients and we pull up at the property And I've seen out of the corner of my eye old mate up the road that's doing up the washing machine and the boat and the dryer all on the front lawn, and our radar opens up, I guess, because we're not focused on just the property. And our job is to say, did you notice that property? Did you notice that fence? Okay, the backyard's not facing north, it's facing this. That means the sun will do this. Is that okay? So we're not there to say, oh, it's fabulous, it's got this and that. That's all great, and we can say all that, but we're also there to say, have you noticed these things as well? And they may turn around and say, look, that doesn't bother me. Yep. We looked at a property down a long driveway, remember, that had a lot of houses off it, and it may not have been our preference, or some mightn't have liked it, but it actually didn't bother them. So we're not there to make decisions for people.
Absolutely not.
We're just there to point out everything. So we won't tell our clients what they want to hear.
No, and there is some form of regulation around that in our agency agreements, because you can't misrepresent a property or a client. And, material fact plays a big role in what we do as well. Mm. So, we can't just go around telling people what they want to hear or telling them whatever we want for our own agenda.
But at the same time, we keep our personal preferences out of it.
100%.
But if someone sends us a property and it's happened, we saw this and it looks great, we will be forthright and say, I'm so sorry, but for these reasons, that is not a great investment. Yep. That's just, that sense of responsibility. If we wouldn't buy it ourselves,
then why would we recommend
it to a client? Yeah. I can save money by doing the research myself. You could do the research yourself. It may take months or years to end up.
So does it really save you money because there's more time for you as someone else to do it that doesn't do it every day and doesn't actually know what they're looking for or where to look or has access to the resources that we do?
The other thing is the relationships we have. They take years. They do. Those relationships do not form in 5 minutes, and they don't even form in 6 months.
They don't.
They form over years and years and years where, we're known, and we've had a lot of people, had it the other day with a selling agent, we're the vault. If we are told about an off-market property, and we've heard stories, unfortunately, it's not always the case, it is in the vault. Even so much that the selling agent the other day had his new associate in the car, and she'd seen a property that was an off-market, and this particular agent, he was saying, oh, yeah, we've got one coming up. And he looked at her and she's like, oh, yeah, it's he goes, no, you can tell her. It's fine. They're the vault. So those types of relationships take a long time.
But it's also the sensitive information that we share. It's not that selling agents are hiding this from the public by any means.
There's a reason they're not sharing it.
There is. It's personal information of the vendors and the vendor situation that they don't want out there in the marketplace because they don't know who a buyer knows or who they're related to or who that buyer is going to go and tell.
They also don't want to lose the business.
They don't want
by
to lose
going
the
to another listing agent.
And so, but our relationships, some of them span more than 30 years. And so they know that and they trust us. Yep. And we can have these deep, meaningful conversations and they know it's not going to go anywhere else.
Yep.
So, you can do your own research, but will it save you money? Well, that's a big question mark. Maybe you can, maybe you can't.
And that's not to say that some buyers don't go out there and do a great job and buy great property. Not everyone. They also buy a lot of rubbish property, but some do a great job. They do their research and they buy well and they...
And on that note, we hope by doing these podcasts, we're actually, for those people that actually have the time and the confidence and they are interested and passionate, that we can share information that's going to help you go out on that journey and do it yourself.
Yep. It used to be in the old days, no one wanted to share anything. Do you remember the days when we were selling real estate where you weren't allowed to put the address? And the theory behind that, don't put the address on the ad. Now you'd think, what is wrong with you? Why would you not? The reason is because, I want them to ring. It's an excuse to talk. Information is so available right now.
It is.
There's the days of holding back information and not sharing are gone.
All you do is get in the road by not sharing. Yeah. People get the cranks, they get irritated and they go, can't be, that's too hard.
And if they don't get it from you, they're going to go get it from someone else.
They are. Yeah.
So,
Or work it out themselves. Information's everywhere. If you really want to find something out, you can find it out.
So why not? We feel like we've got a lot of experience and knowledge to share. So we're going to share it. And if that helps a buyer who's out there in the market doing it by themselves, amazing. Because not everyone wants to work with a buyer's agent. We understand that. The service ceases once the property has exchanged. Well, no, it doesn't.
Well, depends on each professional service offering, but in our case, it doesn't. And in the case of a lot of buyer's agents, we know most of the job, most of the work is done up to that point, but then there's still a period between exchange and settlement where things do happen. So quite often there's terms that form part of the contract that need to be completed by settlement. So we coordinate that. There could be, the property could be going in up as a management, and so there's preparation for those sorts of things. There's key handover, there's pre-settlement inspections, there's a whole range of things.
They might want to renovate. I mean, we have an extensive list of recommended people that we either have used or people we know have used and we know are good. Because if you're coming from an area and you need an electrician or a plumber, or who are you going to call? It's hard. You think, oh, I don't know, I don't know anyone. And so we kind of continue on, oh, where's the best coffee, or where should I go for dinner, or, all of those things. We've sort of become more of a mentor for the area, I guess.
Absolutely. And, our service goes beyond settlement. We've got plenty of clients who, a year later will call us up and say, hey, I need some advice about this, or can you recommend this, or, so many
I want to do
of
an
our
extension
clients.
or I want to renovate my kitchen or... Yeah. And we get sent photos and updates on how the house is looking.
Or when someone's had a baby, or, a milestone of a child, or, whatever. Or we get invitations to milestone birthdays. And, so I guess our clients are for life, and we like to think so. And we're always available. It's not like we catch up every week or every month or, any set. Yeah, but we're always available. And, our service particularly goes far beyond.
I think property management, to touch on that's a really important part of our business. Whilst we've talked a lot about buyer's agency, we bought a property for an investor a few weeks ago, and through our other business of property management, we were able to have a tenant lined up ready for him. So he got an awesome house. He actually still hasn't seen it. His brother saw it. But we had a tenant move in the day after settlement. Didn't have to pay advertising, got a great rental, a great yield. That's just a perfect story.
But again, that tenant came to us through our
relationship, with an agent. Yep. Yeah, he was selling their house and he knew they were a great tenant. Mm-hmm. So it's very intricate, all of it, and it all works to create great outcomes for our clients. So there's a lot of value, and I think we've dispelled a few.
Extends beyond the agency agreement or the settlement or the exchange.
Yeah, so I think if you've been thinking about it, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and perhaps in the old days, buyer's agents were just for the wealthy. Maybe when, the Cohen handler started in the eastern suburbs, it may have been that way, but even their business is so diverse now. They've been around a long time. The Central Coast, that perception was still there when we started our business. Oh, I can't afford a buyer's agent, or I don't need one. So it's changing, and it's really good to see.
Yeah. So if you want to learn a little bit more about us and where you can find us, the best place is to head over to socials, Instagram or Facebook. Our handle's pretty easy, Spring Buyers Agency or Spring Property Management, either or.
Or the website, springbuyersagency.com.au. We actually have a booking link there that you can actually book a 20-minute strategy session with us. Obviously free, no obligation. We love those strategy sessions. They're all about just working out where you're at and if we can help. And, maybe it's just some advice that you need. We're easy to find.